On today's Solo Sunday news, last night AEW Collision ends disastrously. There's some news on the original hopes for Darby Allin's AEW return, Nigel McGuinness's in-ring return is confirmed, and Saraya details a very, very disturbing fan interaction. Hello and welcome to WhatCulture Wrestling with myself, Andrew Pollard, the Solo Sunday news. It's been a minute, as in I've had a lovely fortnight off, 2 weeks off, including promotion to the championship for my beloved Wrexham. There was my birthday, and then there was the small matter of a brilliant music festival called Focus Wales. So yeah, other people take time off over the summer to do things with their family, with their kids. Nah, not me, man. Every May, like clockwork, I'll take a couple of weeks off for the football, my birthday, and for a few days of fantastic music. But anyway, I hope you're good, I hope you're well, and I hope you are doing as good as possible. A quick shout out to any Crystal Palace fans out there, of course. A massive congratulations on their big FA Cup win over Manchester City yesterday. You love to see it. The joy, the disbelief, the euphoria, the general emotion on display from those Palace fans. That is what it's all about. But anyways, you are likely not here to listen to me waffle about football. Though, hey, who knows, maybe WhatCulture Football returns one day, just saying. But no, let's get to wrestling news, and let's get to some pretty rough news for AEW fans. Specifically, some pretty rough news for those AEW fans who tuned in live to watch last night's Collision. If you were one of those watching Collision live, well, you'll have only been able to watch 90 minutes of the episode, for Collision actually cut out a whole 30 minutes early. And no, this was not planned. This wasn't the case of AEW only running a 90-minute show. This was your regular 2-hour Collision broadcast, or at least it was intended to be your 2-hour broadcast. Initially, it was fans on the East Coast who were affected, with the TNT broadcast just abruptly cutting off with 30 minutes of the show left. And when you know it, but when Collision was cut off, what was it replaced by? Yep, it will be Black Adam. That is the DC movie headlined by a certain Dwayne Johnson. Of course, that led to some fans joking about how not only did The Rock ruin WrestleMania 41 this year, but now he's also ruined AEW Collision. As for why Collision ended early, AEW President Tony Khan immediately took to X to, where is it here? He apologized and blamed the issue on technical problems with the studio transmission, saying how the show would air in full for those on the West Coast and would be available in full on Max. And then, well, then the West Coast experienced the exact same problem, as in, yeah, Collision finished 30 minutes early, and those audiences were treated to Black Adam. And I mean, if you've seen Black Adam, that is absolutely no treat. Man, that movie sucked. And I'm a big superhero guy, but I digress. Anyway, again, Tony Khan took to X to apologize, once again citing technical issues affecting the transmission and promising that Collision will be on Max in full ASAP. As someone who doesn't have access to Max, I'm not actually 100% sure if Collision is on there in full as of yet, but I'd imagine it is by this point of the day on a Sunday. As for someone like myself, as in someone who has the AEW Plus subscription on Triller TV, yeah, Collision's there in its full 2-hour glory. You can go and watch all of that. Now, if you've not seen that final half an hour, you've not been able to see that final half an hour. As for what was cut off, there was Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara versus Leo Rush and Action Andretti, and the main event Powerhouse Hobbs versus Wheeler Yuta. And in case you want to go back and check out that final 30 minutes, you will get no spoilers from me whatsoever on those particular matches. As we move on to a little bit of an update on one Darby Allin. Now, as of this recording, Darby is somewhere on or around Mount Everest. Now, as for the original plans for Darby's AEW return, Fightful Select has a little bit of an update here, noting how, from people they've asked about the matter, the original hope was for Darby to be back in time for the Owen Hart tournament, with him then having a match at Double or Nothing. Now, the men's Owen is basically done. We've just got the final of Will Ospreay versus Hangman Adam Page. That's coming up at Double or Nothing. And as for Double or Nothing, that pay-per-view is like, yeah, next weekend. So yeah, there was obviously no Darby Allin in the Owen, and there won't be any Darby Allin at Double or Nothing. I mean, unless something dramatic changes. But given how Mount Everest is, Mount Everest, as in it's a little out of the loop, but not exactly known for its Wi-Fi accessibility or its phone service. Yeah, because of that, there haven't been all that many updates on Darby. Though there was an update a few weeks ago of him setting some skateboarding record. I mean, I am not a skateboard guy, but it was some world's highest kickflip or something or other. I don't know, man. My skateboard knowledge peaked with the first Tony Hawk game and Goldfinger's banging Superman. But anyway, with Mount Everest, there's no set time. There's no, airtight schedule per se, where it's like, we'll be back down on this exact date, as there are just so many variables and conditions to take into account that can change and change plans. Plans change, pal. But that said, on average, the whole ascent and descent of Everest tends to be from reading into this, and it's also mentioned in this fight report, where it tends to be about 6 to 10 weeks, which again isn't exactly specific. But that just gives you an idea of the sheer scale of the job involved, the job at hand. The point being, we don't know when Darby will be off Everest, when he'll be back in the US, when he'll be back on AEW TV, or when he'll be back in an AEW ring. Many had previously tipped Darby to be the one to dethrone Jon Moxley as the AEW World Champion, but realistically, I mean, yeah, let's just get that belt off Mox ASAP. Yeah, please, whether that's Ospreay or Hangman. I'm thinking Will Ospreay gets that, but yeah, waiting for Darby return. I mean, that will continue to drag on this painful AEW title reign. But while we don't know when we can expect to see Darby Allin back in an AEW ring, one person we do know who'll be lacing up their boots again is old Nigel McGuinness. Yes, after plenty of teasers, the 90 minutes of AEW Collision that fans did get to see, that saw Nigel announce he'll be stepping back in the ring again at Double or Nothing, where he'll team with Daniel Garcia to take on FTR, formally accepting the challenge laid down by Stokely Hathaway, of course. This will be Nigel's fourth match since his 2011 retirement, the first match since December when he faced, was it Lee Moriarty at ROH Final Battle for the ROH Pure Championship. Prior to that, now, obviously, McGuinness made his big surprise return to the ring at Allin 2024, Wembley Stadium. Then a month after that, faced Bryan Danielson for the AEW World title. And with 1 week to go, that means at Double or Nothing, the card currently consists of 6 matches. I mean, I'm sure, given how AEW put together their pay-per-views, I'm sure more matches will be added in the coming week. I'm sure Dynamite will see something announced. But yeah, at the moment, we also had as well, I should say, on Collision, Mark Briscoe versus Ricochet was added as a stretcher match for Double or Nothing. And then in addition to that, of course, we've got the Ospreay versus Hangman. We've got Mercedes Moné versus Jamie Hayter in the women's Owen final. Toni Storm defends the AEW women's title against Mina Shirakawa. And the Hurt Syndicate, they defend their tag titles against the winners of that tag match that I'm not going to give a spoiler away from. So it's either Lio Rush and Action Andretti or Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara. So, right, let's wrap things up today. And I mean, let's wrap things up. It's a pretty grim story here, man. I mean, take it to X. Saraya has given details on a particularly horrific fan interaction where a fan tried to kiss her. Yeah, as the former AEW Women's Champion put it. I will cut out the curse word here because bad words on YouTube videos are not good. But yeah, as Saraya put it, crazy I have to say this, but if you're coming to my sign-ins, please don't try to kiss me anywhere, especially on my mouth. He wasn't able to because I moved, but Jesus loving Christ. Yeah, I mean, just what is going on, man? Some people, whether it's Saraya, whether it's another wrestler, whether it's an actor, a musician, or just a stranger you see out on the street, it kind of goes without saying, just don't throw yourself on them and try to kiss them. That is, that's not cool. That's the total opposite of cool. That's just creepy, disgusting, crosses all kinds of boundaries. I mean, just because you pay for, whether it's a signing or a photo op at one of these events, it doesn't mean you kind of get, carte blanche to do whatever you want. In this case, try to kiss a wrestler. Just that. Anyways, with that brings today's news video to an end. The Solo Sunday News, a first day back in the work saddle for 2 whole weeks for me. Actually, technically just over 2 weeks. And you know what? I totally feel like I need another 2 weeks off to recover from my 2 weeks off. But alas, I'm off to write a few bits and bobs. And I try to remember how to actually do my job. So this has been WhatCulture Wrestling. I've been Andrew Pollard. Be well, stay safe, and I will catch you next weekend.